on, chat.
You guys are so nuts.
This is
Boys.
watermelon hail.
Welcome in, chat. We're cranking. Doesn't look like it may not be on the ground right now, so Dick Worsham. Dude, I can't. I just can't with that name.
Oh!
10,000. 10,001. 2. It just keeps going. It's like a clock.
How are you doing tonight, Phoenix of the Gods?
Oh my. Not what I was saying.
Look at this.
Looks like it's starting to rope out a little bit, Edgar. This is crazy.
Wow! Look at that.
At Angel Hones 927 super chatted $6.78. Well done, guys. Love
I
from me.
can't even with this right now, guys. Like, what is this? Brad is out front. Brad is taking a strong lead. Here comes number 7. Right at the side. Number 1. Number 14. Are making a push. Number 7. Oh my God. Number 5 is going down to the end zone. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, dude.
Like, oh.
Who's ready, chat?
Here we go.
Hey, who's this girl in the back, bro? She's just sitting here, just hadn't said a dang word, just staring at us.
That's my girlfriend. Dave, hold your mic button down.
What's up?
Wait, what's your username? Hold on. Was that Lactatia?
It's Letitia.
Let this beat drop and then we'll start. Let's go. Let's get the hype going in the chat right now. Let's get those hypes going in the chat. Come on, chat. Let's go. Count it down. And now,
3,
the local
2,
on the hour.
1, go!
Ah! Let's go! I'm losing my voice. Are you kidding me? Let's go. Boat Guy.
The following program is a production of the Stormfront Freaks Network.
Where am I? What is this place? It's so dark. Oh, what is that sound? Ah! This is the Big Weather Show! Oh! I'm your host, Stormcat5. That is absolutely insane. We're going to talk about the biggest stories in weather. That is a massive debris ball. And who knows what we're going to say. Was that Lactatia?
It's Letitia.
So strap in, buckle up. The Big Weather Show starts. Count it down. 10, 9. Count it down, chat. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. Oh my. Oh my. Welcome, chat. I always have to look at my my watch here to make sure I know what day it is. It is Thursday, January 29th, TGTF. Thank God it's Thursday. We got the regulars checking in the chat for another special edition of the Big Weather Show. It's an unbelievable day here in the Category 5 Command Center. We've got the snow that's still falling outside. It is brutally cold here in the Cat 5 Command Center. I'm bundled up. If you can't tell, my hands are cold. I'm sure your hands are cold. I'm sure your feet are cold. I'm sure everything is cold. We're going to be talking about this epic winter storm today, guys, because we've got a lot to talk about right now. You can see on the map that we're looking at on the big screen here, it is awfully colorful. We've got winter storm warnings and winter storm watches that were issued today, and it will be an absolute banger. Guys, thank you for joining me here today for another edition of the Big Weather Show. I'm going to hit on all of your questions. I'm going to talk about the latest models. I'm going to talk about this epic winter storm that we got cooking. And I tell you what, we're going to have a good time doing it here, okay? We're going to have a great time doing it. I need to get a bigger desk. Look how small my desk is. It doesn't look like it's proportionally to my body. This is like a mini desk. Maybe I can get a bigger desk in the end. We got on the big screen. Let's go full screen with this real quick. We're going to start with this, and then we're going to bring in our guests. We're going to bring in Stu here in a little bit. We're going to start here by taking a look. This is the Big Weather Show. We got the Big Weather Show ticker on the bottom of the screen. That's what I'm calling it, the Big Weather Show ticker, right at the bottom. That's what they call it in showbiz. The ticker kind of scrolls along the bottom of the screen. This is our weather warnings right now that we have across the southeast. You can see a big smattering here of blue painted from the northeast all the way down into Florida. Now, what is that? What are we cooking down here? What do we got? What's going on? Some of that is winter storm warnings here. Oh, Kyle, I forgot to send you a link. Brother Kyle, I'll send you a link to join tonight. If you would like, you don't have to. Link sent. Okay. So this in green, these are your winter storm watches that were just issued. Now, they were just issued for basically the entire state of Carolina, North Carolina, and South Carolina. I'm lumping them, both of those two together. Winter storm watches were issued. If we zoom in here, you barely see the state lines. I'm sure you can adjust the opiacy here, but not going to do it now. If I click on this winter storm watch that's close to the coast, look at this. Snow totals, 8 to 14 inches. That's what the National Weather Service, their initial watch is calling for, 8 to 14, with locally higher amounts possible. Now, that is right along the coast. So I'm going to show you all the models. I'm going to show you everything along this, but this is a high impact event. This will be a blizzard. We will have blizzard warnings, no doubt issued potentially later today, probably tomorrow. These winter storm watches will be upgraded. Absolutely. They also talk about winds could gust as high as 50, potentially more, especially if you're all along the coast. Winter storm or blizzards, 35. That's the criteria you're looking for. So with snow and winds gusting as high as 50, almost certainly these warnings will be upgraded to blizzard warnings in Carolina. And that's where we have the highest confidence. And that's where we'll start today. Now, we also have winter storm warnings that have already been upgraded here. These are for interior portions of North Carolina. Even if you're in far interior North Carolina, you're still going to get snow here. They're saying total snow accumulations up to 4 to 8 inches. Winds gusting as high as 50. That is a blizzard warning. Absolutely. Absolutely. Blizzard parties. Pitt County. Blizzard parties at ECU confirmed. What is ECU? Mason, help me out here, brother. And Stu, I'm bringing you in as well. We'll you're backstage, so your mic is on. But hi, Stu. We will bring you in a sec. I'm curious, Stu, if you could just maybe go around these winter storm watches and check on the amounts. See what the general amounts are on all of these watches here. Even we even had winter storm watches in South Carolina, guys. And
They
Georgia.
they go as far as Atlanta.
Wow. Okay. So, guys, you can't really see on the map. This is Atlanta right here. And we've got a winter storm watch for Atlanta, Georgia, right in here. Let's just click on this for just a second. 2 to 4 inches with locally higher totals possible. Winds could gust as high as 35 miles an hour. So, guys, that is right on the edge of blizzard criteria, okay? You know, I don't think they're going to be issuing blizzard warnings for Atlanta, but it is possible. I mean, it is possible. I don't know if I see it, but in the winter storm watch, they're telling you, you don't need a lot of snow to get a blizzard warning. It's the wind that's really the trigger there. There can actually be blizzard warnings without, heavy snow falling if there's blowing snow on the ground. That's called a ground blizzard. East Carolina University. Oh, wow. We're going to hit on Carolina, guys. Tracy, welcome to the stream. Chat, if it's your first time here, let me know in chat. If not, we got a lot of the regulars checking in. So let me know where you're checking in from right now, chat. Where are we checking in from? We got a lot of regulars. We got Amanda, Sarah, Kelsey, Rob, Ash, Dave, Brother Mason in the chat. Mama G, Armand, Tracy, Amanda, organ donor in the chat. Our brother organ donor. He keeps reminding me, I need to become an organ donor. Eventually, I will.
So across
Michigan.
parts of Virginia, we're looking at 4 to 8 inches. Across parts of North Carolina, we're looking at anywhere from 4 to up to, what was the max on that one morning? 14, 16 inches of snow, something like that.
Yeah, it was 14.
And what actually surprises me is one of the warnings that actually extends all the way along the coast. This isn't for Virginia Beach. This is just south of Kill Devil Hills. But even along the coastline, 10 to 16 inches of snow. And as you go in parts of the Appalachian and Kentucky, far western Virginia, parts of Tennessee, looking anywhere from 3 to 8 inches of snow. The Atlanta metro, as you go further south in the United States, you get less snow amounts to trigger such watches and warnings. So for the Atlanta metro, it's only up to 2 inches of snow. But as you get further east into Atlanta, you get 2 to 4 inches of snow. So, I mean, it's going to be a pretty wide impacting event for the coast that doesn't see a lot of snow.
I would totally agree with that. Completely agree. And chat, we got everyone checking in from all across the country here. We've got people in Indiana. We've got people in Jersey. Pepsi is in New Cold, New Jersey. Atlantic City, John. We got Nicole checking in from North Carolina. Ohio, Sue. Oh, we're buried here. We got someone checking in from Ontario. Nick, welcome to the stream here. We got Delaware. We got a lot of people in North Carolina here. New poll coming in hot. Are you here? Are you checking in from one of the Carolinas? Are you a Carolina brethren? That could be North Carolina. That could be South Carolina. New polls coming in hot. Vote now. Yes, I am. No, I am not. Yes, no, or it's chalked. You can always use the it's chalked option if you do not want to answer. It's kind of like, I want to just kind of lurk, right? I don't want to say yes or no. I just kind of want to lurk. Jet checking in from Philly. Jody from Northern Indiana as well. Massive W's in chat here. So we got people from all across the country, mostly the Eastern United States here. So let's go ahead and take a look at something else here. Let's bring this up. We're going to go full screen here in a second. And I'm going to show you the snow totals. Like Stu was saying, this is the official prediction here from the National Weather Service. Right here. And you can see this is their latest prediction. If I go back a couple, actually, I think I can only go back 2 or 3. Let's see. Yeah, I can't go back that many. But this is their latest prediction here. And you will notice, even in western North Carolina, in the mountains, Asheville, other places like that, in Greenville, in northwestern South Carolina, we're talking about snow amounts potentially getting up to 8 inches or more. This is an official forecast here from the National Weather Service. So this is not a model. This is not a blend of models. This is their actual forecast here. And then look at this along the coast here. Let's zoom in right into the Carolina coast, because this will be indicative of what could happen here. Let's take a look. That's California. Nope. Is there not a... Oh, there it is. Is there not a North Carolina here? Yeah, there is. Okay. Boom. Are you kidding me? I mean, Stu, these are like totals that we had in North Carolina. I mean, this is like upwards of a foot. Someone on the East Coast, especially along the coast here, the Outer Banks, right? And this is, very, not tropical, but very coastal type communities right along the shore. A lot of people go during the summer to vacation here. And this will turn into basically Siberia. I said that in a tweet just a couple of hours ago. And I'm telling you guys, people here, they think, oh, this is going to be a nice, pleasant snow. That's like the last winter storm. If you got snow during the last winter storm, it was beautiful. It was like the snow just kind of fell from the sky. Wasn't a lot of wind. It was cold, but the wind really wasn't a problem. And you could see the visibility was fine. There was a lot of snow on the roads. This storm will be completely different. It will be Siberia-esque with blizzard conditions, especially along the coast here. And look at some of these numbers here. 12 down here, 14 down here. This is that range that we talk about, that 10 to 16, right, Stu?
Yes.
Okay, that's that 10 to 16 inch range here. So anything over 12 is a foot. Someone's going to get more than a foot, especially along the North Carolina coast here. But look inland. I mean, basically the entire state of North Carolina is at least 6 or 7 inches.
Welcome, brother.
It's unbelievable. Happy. What a name. Happy, just join the channel.
What I actually find interesting about this, if you look at the national blend of models, the National Weather Service is actually forecasting against it. They're actually overshooting the NBM, which I find really surprising.
Yeah.
Because I don't see them do that very often.
So I think there's a couple of things, and let me go ahead and pull up what Stu was talking about here. This is the national blend of models here. If this would work, please work. Oh, no. Hold on. While I'm bringing this up, one of my buttons on my thing is not working. Hopefully it works now. Oh, come on.
Shocked.
I might just have to do it manually here. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is the national blend of models here. And this basically takes all the models that we have, blends them into one, and shows you the output. And sometimes this can be a good tool. Sometimes it isn't as good of a tool, right? The ensembles, because there's a lot of outliers that get factored into this and that can sometimes jack up the totals here. For example, New Jersey, I don't know if I see our New Jersey brethren or our Delaware brethren getting, 8 inches of snow, right? The snow line's probably going to be pretty sharp here. And these guys, Dover, probably going to get way less. So that's just an example here. But to Stu's point, this is the national blend of models here. Maybe the 18Z. Let's go. Actually, this was a couple days ago. Let's go to the latest version here. Okay, this is the 23Z right here. So it's showing similar type of snow totals here in the Outer Banks, but higher. And the reason being with these snow totals is because the snow ratios, right? It's going to be so, just like the last storm. You heard me talk about the last storm. This storm is very similar in terms of we're going to see almost identical snow ratios, very cold temperatures at the surface, very cold temperatures higher up in the atmosphere, and that allows snow to pile up much more efficiently. So that's absolutely going to happen here, and that's why the National Weather Service, if we go back to those for a second, that's why their totals are a little bit higher across the entire state, because those snow ratios are much higher. And that's what we're tracking here. Stu, we talk about this. It's been a minute since our North Carolina brethren have gotten a storm like this.
It has been. Yeah, I think South Carolina has been... I don't think South Carolina saw any snow at all last year, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I think it's been a full year for South Carolina.
If you're in South Carolina, chat, do we have any brothers in South Carolina? If you are in South Carolina, you are in the chat, let me know. I'm curious what your thoughts are. When's the last time you got in a snow like this? Has it been a year? Has it been 2 years? Has it been 5 years? Maybe, Stu, you could look that up as we go. But Emily, checking in. Not excited about the snow coming for North Carolina, but less excited about the temps. So Emily, apparently not a snow lover. Emily, what part of Carolina are you in? I'm curious. But all right, let's go back. Let's step this back a little bit. We looked at some of the snow totals. Let me show you how this is going to play out. How this could play out. How the next 48 hours is going to play out. How this storm will go. And then who will be affected. And then we'll take a look back at the models as some of the 18Z models come out here. So let's take a look at our future radar here. And tell me this button works. Please work.
To put this into perspective, so I'm looking back on the National Weather Service's archives of gridded snowfall analysis, and going back through the past at least 6 seasons, North Carolina is going to see more snow in this one storm than the past 4 to 6 seasons of snowfall. That goes back to the 2021-2022 season.
Yikes. That once again, it's unbelievable. Wow. Great question here from JT. Will iPad kids be able to lock in? Probably. Unless you lose power, iPad kids will be fine for this storm because they will be staying inside, playing on their iPads, having no clue what's going on outside. So the iPad kids will be fine for this particular storm. Power outages could be a problem along the coast where the winds are really ramping up. For the rest of the state, I don't. We're not talking about ice in any aspect here as well. Chat, if it's your first time too, let me know in chat. We got someone checking in from just north of Savannah in Jasper County here in South Carolina. So let's take a look at how this is going to time out here. This is starting Friday night. Welcome, bro. So tomorrow night. Linda, welcome to the channel. Tomorrow night, this is around 4 p.m. Friday night. Not much is going on. We could have snow starting here in Virginia and in Tennessee and in western North Carolina. That's why we already have winter storm warnings in effect here, because the snow will start Friday night. This is our first piece of energy that comes down. Let me back this up one little bit further here. Let me show you the upper air here. This is the 500 millibar. And here's what we got coming, guys. We've got this bowling ball, right? We talked about it yesterday. That's our bowling ball. That looks like a bowling ball now when I drill it on the thing. This is way high up in the atmosphere. 500 millibars that we're talking about. So way above our head. We're talking miles above our head here. Hello, Wakefield, Virginia. Welcome. Watch as we go into Friday. See how this thing, I don't know if I can remember a trough that was like this. I'm going to be quite honest. This thing is like totally just like coming this way. Normally they come like this. I don't know if I've ever seen something like that before, to be honest. But this trough is just bowling its way into the south. And then watch how this thing just ramps up and blows up right off the coast. This is the upper levels of the atmosphere. So what you get happening, just like I was explaining yesterday, you'll get a low pressure at the surface that'll form here. You've got divergence here, wind moving this way, wind moving this way. That allows the storm, just like a hurricane, guys, right? Just like a hurricane, that allows the storm to vent in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Think about, you're cooking a meal and all that smoke and steam is being sucked through your exhaust, right? It makes room for more smoke and steam. That's exactly what's happening here. The storm is venting itself and allowing itself to absolutely bomb out as we go into Saturday. This is Saturday at 4 p.m. This would be if this were the summer, if this were the spring, this type of system would be an absolute mega severe weather producer, right? But it's not. This is winter, so we're not talking about severe weather. But during the spring, this would be an absolute tornado maker because of how strong of a trough this is. So let's take a look at the surface here and show you what the result of that upper level deal is. And I'm telling you, it will be an absolute monster of a storm system. So let's go back here. This is Friday at 4 p.m. here. And we could have some snow starting in the Carolinas here. Once we go to about 5, 6, 7, you can see that low starting to take shape off the coast of the Carolinas. You can see some rain starting to form, some snow starting to pick up as well. This is Friday at 8 p.m. Let's go Friday around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Boom. Are you kidding me? That's when things will really start to kick off here. This will be a multi-day event, Friday into Saturday, and potentially into Sunday morning for some along the coast here. So Friday around 11. This is Friday around 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. Heavy snow ongoing now. The low is starting to crank here. We can see the low pressure, the center of the storm system is off here. It's still pretty weak, right? So, it's not formed, the winds aren't really cranking just yet Saturday morning, but the snow is. The snow has already started and has started to absolutely crank for our North Carolina, South Carolina, and even Eastern Tennessee. We haven't talked a lot about Knoxville along, Asheville, along that Tennessee, Carolina border. They also could get some snow here. And Saturday at 4 a.m., they're having heavy snow ongoing right along the border in higher elevations and at the surface here. So once we get to about, let's go right around Saturday, 7 a.m. When a lot of people are going to be waking up Saturday morning and heavy snow. Guys, when you see the purple like this is not mixed precipitation. That is snowfall rates of 1 inch, possibly 2 inches per hour. Welcome, Lisa. 2 inches per hour. And I would not be shocked if we got, especially right along the coast here, if we got snowfall rates of 1 inch an hour, 2 inches an hour, maybe even 3 inches per hour in the heaviest bands. And that's why along the coast, they put that language of, 10 to 16 with locally higher amounts, because when you get a band like that, sometimes the snow totals absolutely skyrocket, even further up. So we'll have to look at that as we go. But that color to me tells me, okay, there's going to be some very heavy snow falling. And with the temperatures, it will accumulate very quickly. This is Saturday at 7. Let's go to 10. Let's go to 1. And you'll notice here, our low is starting to really get going here. Still relatively weak, but this is when the wind from Saturday at 1 until the evening and Sunday, that's when the wind will be absolutely cranking here along the coast. And that's when some of the worst conditions will go downhill. In the morning, Saturday morning, should be light to moderate to heavy snow falling, but the wind shouldn't be really much of an issue. It's Saturday evening. That's when our wind's going to pick up. And also, that's when our snow, this is Saturday at 1, let's go Saturday at 4. That's when the backside, this thing's going to have a juicy backside. I tell you what, it will have just an absolutely mean backside here. And that's when our snow in South Carolina will start. And that's when our snow in South Carolina will get heavy. Places like Columbia, places like Greenville, places like Myrtle Beach. I just got followed by Golf Pro 1983. Fantastic. Places like Charleston, all will see heavy snow during the evening hours on Saturday. And if I step it further, let's go 7, let's go 10. Oh, wow. Okay. This is important here, chat. Also, what wind issues in Charleston? Potentially. Absolutely. It won't be as windy as North Carolina, but we absolutely could see some wind issues here. Anytime you see these lines, right? I'm drawing them on the screen just to kind of show you. Those are called isobars. What's an isobar? Chat, does anyone know what an isobar is? Stu, you know what an isobar is, right?
Very a basic description. I can tell you what they mean on a map.
What do they mean?
So if you have those black lines that Brady has pointed out, those they're called isobars. Basically, if they're tight together, that indicates some strong winds. So if you're looking at weather models and you see all those black lines squiggling everywhere in the mountains, that's because those winds are really high. They're gusting really strong. But if they're spread out, you're not going to have that high as winds. So what we're seeing here on the backside of the storm, 40, 50, up to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, because of how tight those lines are together. And as you go up into the atmosphere, they're only stronger.
That's right. So Stu nailed it on the head here. Chat, if you got it right, let me know in chat. I'll give you bonus points here. But the tighter those lines are, right? That's each one of those lines is a pressure, right? So at the center here, you got 980, 998. Then you got 1,002 right here in this ring. Now you got 1,006 in this ring. I actually think it's probably goes up by increments of 2, not 4. The point is, the pressure gets higher as you go out from the center here in each of these circles. But the tighter packed those lines are, the stronger the winds. So where you see right in here, where there's just like very tight packed lines, that's the stronger the winds will be. Exactly. So that is the stronger the winds will be. Stu is having some chips to dip there, but the stronger the winds will be. And so once you see these lines start to get tighter by around 7 and then 10, that's when our winds will really start to pick up in a major way. And our low now is 995. So this is what we call a bomb cyclone, right? That is not a term I made up. That is not a term that Joe Schmo on the internet made up. That is an actual weather term. And that term is basically, a storm that loses 24 millibars in 24 hours. So it's rapidly strengthening. The lower the millibars on storms, the stronger the storm, the stronger the winds. Think about hurricanes, right? When you have a hurricane where the pressure is way lower, the category goes up. That's because the wind speed goes up. So by Saturday night at 10 p.m., we will have a full-blown bomb cyclone with very, very strong blizzard conditions on the backside here and heavy snow. This will be an all-snow event for our Carolina brethren. We're not going to have to worry about mixing. We're not going to have to worry about ice. So that's the good news, right? That's the silver lining with this storm. But we will have heavy snow ongoing along the coast. The big question is, how far does that snow shield extend inland? Because if that snow shield extends, right now this is the NAM model. The NAM model says by 10 p.m. Saturday, the snow should be done here in Tennessee. The snow should be mostly done in western North Carolina. But if that snow shield would trek a little bit further to the west, then our snow totals, which are 4, 5, 6, 7 inches here, could be even higher. And so that's what we talk about when we talk about, locally higher amounts. We still have some uncertainty with how much snow you're going to get. So this is 10 p.m. Saturday. Let's go 1, 2, let's go to 4 a.m. right here. And this is when our storm is going to be doing unbelievably ludicrous things here. You can see this giant mass of rain. This is probably overdone a little bit, to be honest. But you can see how big of a storm, how strong of a storm that we have here. 987 as your pressure center. So our storm is absolutely bombing out, and it's only going to get stronger from here. And that's when likely we're going to see blizzard conditions. I think this model is probably underdoing the precipitation. We will still see snow here in North Carolina, in South Carolina. And that's when some of the heaviest snow could accumulate here from about Saturday overnight is when the heaviest snow should fall in the Carolinas. And any snow, any snow that does fall right on this north side, we could be talking about very big snowfall rates.
Love your
What?
live streams. Thank you for all you do. Central
What just
Texas
happened?
Loves Stormcat 5.
Was that 150?
It might have been. Hold on. Was that a 150 bomb? Oh my gosh. That was a 150 bomb from Jennifer Wright. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah. She says she loves the streams. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Jennifer, are you kidding me? With the 150 bomb. Let's go. Let's go, Jennifer. Guys, massive W's in chat for Jennifer. Unbelievable stuff there. That is unbelievable. And Stu, she also has the PayPal works. It officially works here. I was worried it didn't work. We did add a new way to pay us, guys, here. PayPal. I get all of it. Instead of YouTube taking a third, that goes all right to the Stormfront Freaks Network. So massive shout out to Jennifer. Wow.
That's a lot of Wendy's chicken nuggets.
That is a ton. That is an absolute ton of Wendy's chicken nuggets right there. Okay.
Massive W. Wow.
Massive W's, absolutely. Okay, so let's finish this off here for the timing. Let's go to around Sunday. And Jennifer, by the way, if you would like, let me know in chat, Jennifer, where you're at. If you're in the path of this thing, I'll give you a personalized forecast here. Okay, so by the time we get to Sunday, during the day, let's go Sunday at 1 p.m., the snow will be winding down for our Carolina brethren. So South Carolina, Sunday, you should be okay during the day. You will likely be, coming out of the big snow for you guys. And then North Carolina, their snow should be winding down. There could be another blast, though, Sunday morning in North Carolina. But by the time we get to around 4 p.m., should be done. Virginia Beach also. We haven't really talked a lot about Virginia, especially the southeast corner, the coastal portions of Virginia, near Virginia Beach, could get absolutely hammered. They're a little bit more uncertain there, but they absolutely could get hammered. Now, the big question is, our Northeast brethren, right? The more that I look at this, the more that I'm just like, this is probably not your storm. Our New York City brethren, our New Jersey brethren, our Connecticut, our Massachusetts, our Maine brethren. This is quite a shame, because this storm is this is the biggest nor'easter we've seen in a long time, in a couple of years at least here. And it does look like right now, at least, unless we see a very big northwest trend here, it does look like you're going to miss out on the heaviest snow, unfortunately. Now, if you are in coastal portions of Massachusetts here, right in like Nantucket, you probably will get some snow. But outside of that, guys, we are not talking about feet of snow. We're talking about inches of snow as well. Jody is in Chesapeake, in Norfolk. Yeah, Norfolk, I think, where's Norfolk? Is that inland? I think? No.
I have no clue.
Yeah, that's right along the coast, I think. Anyway, but that is really the big question here, because we just, at this point, let's just go through and compare the models, because we know, what do we know, guys? We know that the Carolinas will get hammered here by a snowstorm. We know that there will be a huge swath of at least 6+ inches of snow from Raleigh down here through Greenville. Wow, thank you yesterday. Down here through Columbia, even into Myrtle Beach and Wilmington. We know those areas will be the hardest hit. That's what we do know. We know also that interior North Carolina will be hit by, Nashville, and then in Greenville in South Carolina, and potentially in Knoxville as well, Winston-Salem. We know they also will get several inches of snow. The big question is, still in my mind, is our Northeast brethren, will they get hit hard? Right now, a lot of models say no. Stu, have you seen any trends today? I think we've both been watching the models today to try to see, okay, has there been anything that's trended west or east? I haven't noticed anything. Have you?
No, if anything, it's stayed in the same place. I think the track is pretty much almost locked in at this point.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, chat, because let's just go through the models here. We're just going to take a look, compare some of these models. We're going to look at the NAM here, and then we're going to look at the European, the latest European, the 18Z, or this is the 12Z European. Let me just see the latest models here and compare. This is the 12Z European. Let's go to precipitation type and pressure here. What we're looking here on the map is how far north does this snow shield extend? And if it does extend, in fact, a little bit further to the north, we could be talking about, okay, maybe Boston getting in on the snow, maybe portions of Long Island getting in on the snow as well. But right now, the European, let's go to the GFS. Also, let's go to the 18Z GFS, actually, to compare. 18Z GFS shows, and this one we just got access to this one here. Unbelievable. Guys, look at this. This has even trended a little bit further to the south and west. So that high pressure, oh no, my connection, chopped. What's going on? What's happening? You know what? We're going to take a quick commercial break because I don't know what's going on. Oh my God, my internet. Quick commercial break.
It'll have you blow by the competition.
It's got radar, observations, models, all in one epic app. Blown by the competition! Woo!
Weatherfront, the official weather app of the Storm Front Freaks Network.
All right, there we go. We're back.
We're back.
We just lost 30 people. Unbelievable. So, chat, here's what we're doing. We're going through and comparing the models to see, okay, have the models done anything today? This is the big update today, guys. This is what I'm talking about in the caption here, is they have not trended any further to the north and west. They're holding the ground. These are the different models we got. This is the Icon model. This is the Canadian model. Our Canadian brother in here also showing the same thing. Let me just draw the northern extent here so you can see. The European model. This is the European model earlier. I think the 18Z has actually trended a little bit to the south and west here. This is the 18Z GFS as well. So you'll notice that the models, they're not showing. They just aren't showing a snowstorm here for our Northeast brethren. The big snow is all right now down in the Carolinas. Let me compare the snowfall totals and just show you what we got cooking here. This is an unbelievable tool here from Weatherfront. This is the 18Z GFS. We can compare the different snowfall totals to give an average of what's going to happen here. This is the 18Z GFS. This is the 12Z European. So let me actually just go back a little bit and show you. Let me draw a circle here around the snow so you can see where that heavy axis of snow is. So here it is on the GFS. Let's compare it to the Canadian. Same region. Icon, same region. The European AI 18Z, absolutely same region. And look at this, dumpage, absolute dumpage down here in the North Carolina coastline. 18Z NAM, also, look at that. It's still within the boundary there of that circle. So what this is telling me that this model's chalk. This is the 12Z European Ensemble. So it's important that we look at different models and also within that, region there. And then let's check the AI for the 18Z Ensemble. Same thing. So the models are locking in. That's why I made that tweet today, because the models are absolutely locking in on that area of heaviest snow. Take a look at the 18Z GFS here. And, okay. Wow. Anyone notice what I'm seeing?
Chalked.
Exactly. Okay. We're moving off. We're moving off that image. That is unbelievable. Guys, that just tell me in chat, tell me if you see what I'm seeing. That's just unbelievable. I don't do this on purpose.
That might be indicative of last night.
I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so let's go back here to the let's go back here and let me show you. So the snowfall totals here. And let's take a closer look at the Carolinas here, because this is where we need to focus. This is where we need to focus here. I agree. Completely chalked. Completely chalked. So in chat right now, the poll, 25% of the people voting in the poll are a Carolina brother. And that is amazing to hear. 62% are not. And then 13% say it's chalk. So Carolina brother, and this one's for you. Let's just take a look at all the different models here to show you. This is the European AI model. This is the snowfall that it says is going to fall. Keep in mind, guys, these snow ratios are 10-1. So in this case, we know our snow ratios will be higher with this storm. Once again, that is another factor that not a lot of people are talking about. We know that the snow ratios are 10-1. So here, if you see 10 inches, this is probably going to be more like 14, right? Remember the last storm? We were talking about this the last storm. It's almost the same temperature profile. You're going to have frigid temperatures at the surface, frigid temperatures higher up in the atmosphere, and that creates almost perfect conditions here for just the snow to pile up here. So what's happening with 10 inches, that's actually 14. Where you see 4 in Raleigh, that's probably more like 7. Where you see 4 in Charlotte, that's probably more like 6 or 7. Let's take the European, also the European Ensemble. Absolute crush job for the Outer Banks. 18Z GFS, or the GFS Ensemble. Absolute crush job for the Outer Banks in Eastern North Carolina. Let's go to the 12Z European. Crush job here further north, but still Virginia Beach and the Outer Banks here. Once again, let's take a look at the 18Z GFS. Absolute crush job here for the Carolinas. So the message is here, guys. We know the Carolinas, 12Z Canadian, absolute crush job here for the Carolinas. So we have a very good idea for our Carolina brethren. It likely will see a small area in Carolina that gets over a foot, but nonetheless, I am very confident that someone from Virginia Beach down here through the Outer Banks and then right along the coast, even all as far south as Wilmington, will get a foot of powdery snow. Plus, someone could get even more. Someone absolutely could get even more here as that snow falls. And inland, if we take a look, there is a chance that our inland brethren could get some big snow. I think there likely will be 2 areas of big snow. Wow. W in chat. It's Stormrunner Media. He's in chat. Garrett, let's go. Oh my goodness. Garrett, I'm going to send you an invite, brother. That's awesome. Garrett, I'm going to send you an invite on Twitter, brother. You can join and give your take. There are storm chasers right now that are flocking to the Carolina coastline. This is where they're all going, guys. All of the storm chasers that I know and talk to are all going to the Carolina coastline for this storm. None of them are going to the Northeast. That should tell you all you need to know about this particular storm. So massive shout out to Stormrunner Media here. Garrett, just ping me in some group chat so I can have a message to send you, because I don't want to have to look through the whatever platform. Just send me a message somewhere. Okay, so our Carolina coastline, brethren, hammered. I think there could be 2 maximums of snow here. We got Luke in Charlotte here. I think there's going to be a snow max here where we could get 6 to 8 inches. And then also along the coast, we'll have a secondary snow max, probably of more like 10 to 14 inches here. And I'll zoom out so you can see that. That's where I'm anticipating the highest snow totals for this particular storm. In between those 2 areas, we still should see a wide swath of 4 to 6, right? This should be 4 to 6. This will be like 6 to 8. And then this will be more like 10 to 14. That would be what I would say for this, from all the models I've looked at for this particular storm. Now, I'm curious, Stu or Kyle, give me an idea. Could you go and look at some of the winter storm watches to see if they mention anything about a blizzard?
Sure.
Okay. So, because let me show you what's going to happen with the wind, guys. The wind.
Western Q5U super chatted $5. North Carolina and Virginia are chalked. Also, I'm in Maryland. The country I live in, schools are on a 2-hour delay. I'm also chalked.
Wow. Chat, I love that the chat is now using the verbiage here on stream. You're getting it. He says North Carolina and Virginia are chalked. I'm also in Maryland County. I live in schools are on a 2-hour delay. I'm also chalked. Wow. Maryland, the county. Okay. I'm assuming Maryland, the county is in the Carolinas. Maryland County. Let me check on that. I think Maryland County is in North Carolina. There's no county named Maryland. Okay, I don't know where Maryland County is. It's chalk. W's in chat for Brother Weston. No, but we talked about the blizzard here, and this is why. So these are your wind gusts here, chat. I'm just gonna put the measurer here on for a second. This is why we're gonna have blizzard warnings. So during the morning, Saturday morning, you could have some gusty winds. Absolutely, Saturday morning. But things aren't going to ramp up until Saturday evening. Wow, we just hit 15,000 subscribers. Are you kidding me? Boom! We just hit 15,000 subscribers. Let's go. Massive W to everyone. If it's your first time here, smash that subscribe button, okay? Smash it. We're a small channel. We need you guys to smash that button.
Brady.
Yeah.
So on the area forecast discussion issued for the National Weather Service out of Newport/Morehead City, North Carolina. So this is going to be north of the Wilmington, North Carolina county warning area. They do mention blizzard conditions along the North Carolina coast in their discussion.
Maryland, the state.
Okay.
I'm in Frederick County,
Good to know.
Brunswick, MD.
Wow.
Strong winds will coincide with snow rates of up to 1 to 2 inches per hour, with blizzard conditions along the eastern North Carolina coast, including OBX, which I'm assuming is a county warning area abbreviation.
Yeah, that is wow. So that tells you the National Weather Service is already calling for it. A huge shout out, Weston, brother Weston. He's in Maryland, the state, Frederick County. Okay, Maryland, the state, Maryland. I don't think this will be your storm. You could get some snow with this particular storm, but the nor'easter, it's got to trend way further to the north and west for you to get a lot of snow. And you're on a 2-hour delay. Actually, that's pretty epic. My guess that's because of the cold, brother, because it's going to be absolutely frigid.
Oh, here you go. Even further north. So this is for Wakefield, Virginia. Added blizzard wording to the winter storm watch for portions of Hampton Roads and coastal northeast North Carolina, and blizzard warning may be likely needed for these locations, with wind gusts up to 50 and 60 miles an hour Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Wow.
So there you go. Basically, the National Weather Service is calling for it at this point.
And that's in Virginia.
Warning. Yeah, that's on the probably the Virginia Beach area.
Wow. That does not surprise me. And here's why. Sour Girls in the Outer Banks. I tell you what, the Outer Banks, ground zero for this storm. Now, don't let that scare you. This won't be catastrophic for the Outer Banks, but it will be very impactful. And I'm going to show you why. That's right, JT. It's time to lock in here. This storm that we're looking at, right in here, is the winds. This could actually be the most impactful part of this particular storm. This is Saturday around 5 p.m. By the time we get to Saturday night, look how strong the winds get. Are you kidding me? Guys, this particular storm, let me show you the pressure, because this will give you an idea about how strong this thing is and why this is such a big deal and why this is so different, right? This is a complete 180 from our last storm. Once we get to, this is Sunday morning, 980 millibar low. Guys, that's approaching a Category 1 hurricane equivalent in terms of pressure. This will not be a hurricane, right? This is not going to be a Category 1 hurricane, but the pressure will be just as low as a Category 1 hurricane, which means those winds are going to absolutely crank around that thing. 972, guys. That's approaching a Category 2 hurricane in terms of the pressure. And the reason why I say that is because, we could see some storm surge on the backside of this thing from the winds. You'll have the winds cranking this way. You're going to see severe coastal impacts with flooding along the coast here. Just like any normal nor'easter, you're going to see that, and that will be an absolute factor here. Let me go back to the winds, because this will show you the wind gusts that we're talking about. Look how widespread. Hold on. Let's go back a couple of frames here. This is along the coast. These are wind gusts from the model, and this is not the only model that's showing that. 64, 65, right along the coast here. Let's zoom in to the Carolinas. This is 60-mile wind gusts, guys, right along the coastline. And, even inland, look at this, Greenville, we're talking tropical storm force winds. So what does that mean, right? That just means that any snow that's falling on the ground will be absolutely blowing. And the visibilities will be low, the winds will be strong, and there could even be some isolated power outages here as well. So that's another aspect of this particular storm. This will be probably the most impactful part of this storm is the wind. Even in as far inland here, look at Winston-Salem. We're talking about winds well inland in Charlotte, right? Gusting to 34 miles an hour, right? That isn't like catastrophic, right? That isn't power outage we probably will see sporadic power outages here, but not widespread. But when you have snow that's falling on top of that, that creates a blizzard, right? And that's why we're saying blizzard here, because all up and down the coastline, right? Winds they got to gust to 35 while we have snow either on the ground or falling. And if you look all on the coast, Virginia Beach, 40, right? You go down to the North Carolina coastline here, 50, 55, 60. So that's more than enough to get a blizzard warning here. And think about all the pictures of the nor'easters that we've gotten in the past, where you have that coastal flooding. All of that coastal flooding in North Carolina earlier this hurricane season. you can expect maybe not exactly the same thing, but you will see some of the same impacts, right? So if you're all along the coast here, Stu, I would be actually curious, and Kyle, you can look this up too, is have they talked about any evacuation orders for the Outer Banks yet? Because you will have a little bit of a surge here, because look at the wind direction, right? You look at the wind direction, look at these wind barbs here. They tell you where the wind is coming from. So the wind is coming down like this, right? We know the wind's coming from the north, and it's going to pile up a lot of water along the Carolina coastline, because you get the winds coming out of the north, it pushes all of that water down towards the Outer Banks, and you will see some pretty decent, pretty significant flooding here along the Carolina coastline.
I haven't seen anything on evacuations. I don't know about you, Kyle.
They do have a coastal flood watch, but it's where 2.5 to 3.5 feet is the highest I'm seeing.
Okay. So yeah, we won't be talking about crazy storm surge amounts of several feet. It will be minor, but when you think about on top of everything, on top of getting a foot of snow, if we're also talking about the ocean coming on shore, that's a problem. And look at the winds down here towards the core of this thing. Almost hurricane force, right? 71 miles an hour. This is the very center of the storm here. We're likely going to have a sting jet. Thank goodness the southern piece of this thing isn't going to come on shore, because if it did, we would see winds almost to 80 potentially in this sting jet down here. Yeah, look at that, 80. Look, just like I called, right where I knew it was going to be. That's where the sting jet is, and that's where winds will be over hurricane force. Just a couple of 20 to 30 miles off the coast here. It's unbelievable how strong this particular storm is, and it's only going to get worse here as we go throughout the next 24 to 48 hours looking at this. And then watch, as we go into Saturday or into Sunday, the winds will move away pretty quickly from the coast, but all up and down the eastern seaboard, from Boston all the way down through New York City. Let me show you the wind totals up here. Winds will be gusting almost to tropical storm force in New York City, even as far north as Boston. They'll be gusting 20 to 30 to 40 miles an hour down here. In Long Island, winds will be gusting 30 miles an hour. New Jersey, 30. Delaware, Maryland, brethren, also 30 miles an hour gusting winds. And I tell you what, Stu, that on top of the temperatures that we're talking about, that even if you don't get snow, that will make it feel absolutely frigid outside.
Yeah, it will be cold. And just to add on top of that too, as the winds go further north along the coast, so not necessarily areas like North Carolina, but areas within Chesapeake Bay, along southern Long Island, and even around southern Cape Cod area, there are freezing spray watches currently out, which is when you get, the ocean very forcefully going up against the coastline, and as it makes contact with the surface, it just freezes, and you get these like almost apocalyptic looking ice, almost sculptures, basically, just around everything on the coastline.
Yeah, and that is actually crazy to think about, because we've talked about the snow, we've talked about the wind, and these are your wind chill temperatures. New poll's up, by the way, Kelsey. New poll is up, but these are your wind chill temperatures, guys. Saturday, this is Sunday during the day. Look at this. 2 in Boston, 4 in Boston, 5 in Hartford, 3 in New York City, -0. This is what it's going to feel like, guys. Your wind chills is what it feels like outside with the winds. New Jersey, the entire state of New Jersey basically feels like it's 1 out. In Maryland, 1. In Virginia, that's where it could be. Oh, a little warmer. 12. Are you kidding me? In the Carolinas, 6. Right? This is the wind chill. And so with those winds, it'll feel stupid cold.
Super chatted $4.99. Happy Thursday, chat.
Hey, Brady.
I'm eating dinner right now.
W's in chat for Brother Wilson. Huge shout out to Brother Wilson for the 5 bomb. He says, I'm eating dinner right now. Let's go.
So
go, Kyle.
The RRFS Has
Yeah.
up to 105 mile an hour gust at 11Z on Sunday morning offshore.
What?
The RRFS.
What model is that?
RRFS. It's a convective allowing.
Is that on Weatherfront?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Let's take a look. Oh my. Okay. Wow. Okay, so let me just put this in motion here. This is going to be a pretty ludicrous satellite or loop here of the model to look at.
That is massive.
Wow. K-Grams became a member. W's in chat for T-Grams. Where, Kyle, where is it at? Oh my.
If you stop it at 6 a.m., go back to forecast hour 65, and then just right in there, there's 100.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Are you kidding me?
Just a tad windy.
Yeah, just a tad. So welcome, T-Grams. Welcome to the family here. You become a member. Massive shout out to T-Grams. You can now use an unbelievable number of emotes. Guys, these are the winds. This is wind gusts. And thankfully, thank goodness, this storm will stay mostly off the coast because 106 mile an hour wind gusts along over open water, thankfully. But that is crazy, guys. That is crazy level of winds. And that just shows you, right, that this might not happen, but it just shows you how strong this storm's going to be. And that's what we're talking about. That's why we call it a bomb cyclone, because the winds will be absolutely cranking around this thing. And let me see. Let's go back to when this thing's on shore. This model has the wind gusts here. I'm curious. Okay, 40, 50. So that's actually interesting. So the RFFS has the strongest winds staying offshore. But I can tell you what, guys. If you're getting 50 mile an hour winds while it's snowing an inch an hour, 2 inches an hour, that will be absolutely miserable. This will not be a storm that you're, just willy-dilly going out and having a good time. If you're in the Carolinas, especially Eastern Carolinas, and you're thinking you're going to go out and make a snow angel during the height of the storm, good luck. You're not going to be able to see because the winds will be gusting so strong that it will be a blizzard. You will see blizzard warnings from Virginia Beach all the way down potentially to Myrtle Beach, right? It's a beach-to-beach warning that we could have in blizzard warnings. I would not be surprised if they went well inland too. I would not be surprised at all with the winds that we're talking about here. And there will be, during the height of the storm, which will be Saturday evening going into Saturday overnight, that's when these winds will crank. And that's when, travel will be difficult to impossible, right? You think about driving on a snowy road when winds are absolutely flying by. You can't see 2 feet in front of you. That's what these conditions will be like. So if you got to go somewhere, do not travel Saturday night. Do not travel Sunday morning, because that's when the worst conditions are going to be. That's when the snow will be heaviest, and that's when the winds will be strongest. That's when this low will be absolutely bombing out, cranking out, like Soulja Boy, but way worse. And is just going to be going, this storm Saturday night, I can tell you what, I'm going to make a post Saturday night. This storm will be going ludicrous mode, because I'm predicting Saturday night, this thing will be 993, 989. Look at this. I mean, this is crazy. Between Saturday, this is unbelievable here. This is Saturday at 6 p.m. here. 993. Pay attention to the center of this low. 993 millibars. Let's see, by the time we get to Saturday at 2 a.m., 983. So that's what? 6 p.m. to 3 a.m., the storm has dropped 10 millibars, right? That's about a millibar an hour. That's the type of rapid intensification we see in exploding hurricanes, right? It's that kind of rapid intensification that takes a Category 1 hurricane to a Category 5. It's the same deal that's happening here. Now, this is not going to get to Category 5 pressure, but it will have a period that undergoes that rapid intensification. Stu, any thoughts?
So something to note is that I don't know if this is directly related to our system. You could check like the low pressure track on it, but the National Hurricane Center did do a recon mission today in the Gulf.
Okay.
They have not done anything on the East Coast that I know of or that is scheduled. I'm not very good at reading their discussions because it's a lot of numbers and I'm not about to go digging through that. But they did do one in the Gulf. So, I don't know if that has anything to do with possible moisture that they're looking at, but it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah. If we look at, and this is actually a good point here, Chad. And Kyle, I know Kyle looks a lot at those too. Kyle, if you take a look at that observation and let us know what that was about. But the storm that we're actually tracking, this is the current satellite here. So we're still it's Thursday, so we're still a couple of days away here. The storm that we're tracking is there's a piece of energy down here, but the main piece of energy is up here in the United States, and you can see, let me just zoom out and show you here in motion. Look at the pattern here. You've got this trough. Here's your trough right there. You can kind of see it with the clouds streaming down this way. That's where your storm system is coming from, right? It's basically coming from up here in Canada, right? If I show you, let's go back to one of the models here.
Storm Runner Media super chatted $5. Any chance of exploding trees?
No.
Okay. Unknown. Maybe. Storm Runner Media. Massive W in chat to Brother Garrett. Are you kidding me? Guys, if you haven't checked out Garrett on YouTube, they absolutely crank over there. Make sure you go give them a massive follow. So let me just show you the upper level pattern here as this is going to unfold. Because this will give us an idea about, actually, let's go to a different model. Let's go to let's just go to GFS here. So you can see the bigger picture here. So this is the bigger picture here. Here's our storm system, right now. It's not much of a storm system, to be quite honest. Right now, it's not much. It's basically just an area that's flowing down from Canada, right? It's kind of here's a trough over here. It's kind of like a trailing piece of a different trough here. Hasn't really got its act together yet. It will eventually. But then as we go into Friday, you can see, Kyle, do you remember anything like this where you have literally, this is a east to west, a north to south oriented trough here? I don't know if I can remember ever see a trough that had that shape. Oh no.
That's definitely unique to have an east-west trough like that.
Yeah. I'm sure it's happened before, guys, but this trough, like, of all my years of studying weather, normally for troughs, they're like this. They're like a U. And sometimes they're
At Wilson016 super chatted $4.99. Bomb cyclone this weekend is gonna be crazy.
That's right. Massive shout out to W. Wilson. Oh, and we're bringing in Agent Dan. Oh, Agent Dan has joined the stream.
Got his fedora.
Unbelievable. Hold on. We got to do a close up here of this fedora. Agent Dan has joined the stream and he's wearing his fedora. Unbelievable, Dan. Unbelievable. Let's see. Let's spam those Agent Dan emotes going in the chat. Dan's got his fedora on. Uh-oh. He means business. Dan, how are we doing today?
Fair to partly cloudy. How are you?
Okay.
Stubert. Dan. Or it's not Stubert. Supercell.
Stubert. That's a new one.
That's hard to say. Dan, welcome to stream, brother.
I'm doing great. How are you, Dan?
I'm well, thanks.
Sweet.
So, Dan, we were just kind of talking about the shape of this trough. Have you seen a trough ever that's like this shape?
No, I have not.
I mean, that's insane. So guys, what we're looking at here, we don't want to get too technical here, right? We like to keep it, I like to keep it simple for my brain so I can talk about it. This shape of the trough, normally, you get the troughs, if you look out west, right? This is the normal shape of a trough, a U that you can see, right? It could be this way, it could be this way, it could be this way, right? This trough is like you've taken that U and flipped it on its side. Absolutely flipped it on its side. So now it's like it's like a sideways U. So this is a very non-conventional storm system that we have. And once we go into Friday, see now, Saturday morning, now this is a little bit more conventional. See, this looks more like the troughs that we're used to. And eventually it does crank here. But, the reason why this thing's getting so strong is look at the momentum this thing builds up. Like it's like, rounding a curve and just like coming into home and absolutely flying to the East Coast. And because that trough gets so strong, that's how, there'll be actually, see this right here? I just noticed this. I also just noticed this. This could be why the hurricane hunters are in the Gulf right now. Look at this secondary piece of energy here that's going to combine together with the trough. So you got this piece of energy, this piece of energy. Look at how they combine. They're going to all merge basically over top of Florida right there. Once you see it, guys, you're going to be like, whoa. And then boom, they form one mega storm. So I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised that that's why the hurricane hunters are sampling here, because they're sampling this piece of energy, trying to get a better idea. And then you can see, let me just put that in motion again. See right here, let me just draw right there and right there. Watch those two combine Saturday right there. Look at that. Are you kidding me? That is so cool. That is so cool watching that happen live. So I'm losing my voice, guys. It's absolutely shocked. That's what talking all day at work and then talking all night at weather will do to your voice here. But that is absolutely unbelievable. So if we go back to satellite here, you can see that, actually, let's go to this right here. You can see there is that piece of energy right there coming into Mexico, coming into Texas. If you're in Texas right now, you look up, first of all, Dan, it's dark there, right?
Yeah, it's nightfall.
It's nightfall. So if you look up, you're going to see the night sky, right? But maybe you can see some high clouds coming in. And especially in southern Texas, that's our energy coming in. That's our storm system. This is one piece. Here's your second piece. Both are going to merge over top of Florida and create that very, very strong storm system that we were talking about over top of the Carolinas here. So it's unbelievable. Unbelievable the type of storm that we're talking about here. And Dan, have you looked at any of the models? Is there anything that's catching your eye here with this particular storm?
Unfortunately, I had kind of a busy day at my work, so no, I haven't had a chance.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, guys, Dan, everyone you see on stream's got a day job, right? Stu's got school. Dan and I both have actual jobs. Kyle's got an actual job. But so we look at models when we possibly can. But let me go back over here to the...
Kevin Sparks super chatted $10. Did I hear something about a juicy behind earlier?
Boom! Kevin with a 10 bomb. He said, did I hear something about a juicy behind earlier? That's right. Kevin, you did. You heard us right.
Were you talking about me?
Dan, we were talking about this. Let me show you. We were talking about this backside here. And the GFS is kind of on its rocker here because it's currently the latest 18Z run has two lows here. And look at it. It almost has this is insane. Hold on. This is crazy. Watch what happens here, guys. This is the Fujiwara effect here that the GFS shows. Just unbelievable. I don't think this is going to happen like this. This is absolutely crazy. The kind of storm that we're talking about here, how strong this gets. Look at the Fujiwara effect. You got two storms kind of dancing around each other up here. And chat, you know what? New poll. Do you know what the Fujiwara effect is? New poll. Who here knows what the Fujiwara effect between Stu, Dan, and Kyle? Who knows?
I do.
Dan?
Yeah, we were talking about that with the tropical systems.
Yep, we were. Kyle, do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the Fujiwara effect, guys, is... Actually, Kyle, why don't you explain it? I'm putting you on the spot.
It's where two low pressures get close in proximity to each other and start to affect the motion of each other and kind of go in a circle around each other, and then eventually sometimes merge into one.
That's right.
Eloquent, yeah.
And if you want to get more specific, it's any vortex, because tornadoes can also do the Fujiwara effect like we have seen before in recent times.
That's right. Wow. Bonus points for Stu there. So, yes, Kelsey, someone's going to tell you. So this could happen here. You've got two separate areas of low pressure, at least in the GFS, right? And they'll dance around each other. So you've got, almost think like the yin and yang, right? Think about that logo or whatever, where you have, they're kind of like swirling around each other like that. That's exactly what happens here. You get these two lows that dance around each other like this. You can see almost, doing like a little bit of a tango here. And then eventually one eats the other. So you had two, and then this one right here just, boom, absolutely, consumes the one. Also, look at that pressure, guys. 967 millibars. That is equivalent to a borderline category 3 hurricane, right? So the winds at the center will be, I'm actually interested to look here. Let's go back. Look at that. That's your wind field, guys. A massive wind field. 70, 80. Let's see if we find anything higher than that. An unbelievably massive. Because it did the Fujiwara effect and merged, the storm got bigger. And so the wind field got bigger, and that's why the winds are a little bit lower than you would expect them to. But look at how big of a, wide of a, that's hurricane force winds here, guys, of the span of about 400 miles, 350 miles that storm's going to have. So it's actually a good thing that this storm is staying away from the Northeast, because if it did impact New York, Boston, we would be talking about not only a blizzard, but also widespread power outages. So that's just, that's something to think about with this particular storm. The silver lining here is our Northeast Coast brethren. I know we got a lot of people in here, right? If you're in Boston, if you're in New York, if you're in New Jersey, if you're in Maryland, Delaware, raise your hand in chat. Let me know. A lot of our Northeast brethren were tuning in, hoping, praying, please give me some snow, please. But unfortunately, at this point, I don't have good news for you. And that's actually a good thing, though, for this particular storm. You don't want these winds to come close to you, because if they do, we're talking about not only a foot of snow, but also widespread power outages because the winds would be so high. So that's one of the good signs. Pepe says, I don't want any. Pepe Le Pepsi. That's gonna I actually love that name.
No, it's Pepilepsy.
Oh, Peppa. Okay, or it's it's Pepilepsy. You're right. That's out of control. But he doesn't want any. Kelsey doesn't want any snow either. That's right. That's gale force winds here. So that is ridiculous. How strong these winds are going to be, and that will be the most impactful part of the storm. Is the winds. So, oh man, my voice is chalked.
Do we know what the wind chill would be like in the coldest areas?
Oh yeah. So that's another great question there. So the wind chills, and this is well beyond the just a Northeast thing. The wind chills for the next couple of days here. Let's first start with temperatures, because this storm is really a catalyst of this Canadian cold air coming down here. You've got, with that northern flow here that we're going to have, you'll have a very, battleground basically right in here, where you're going to have warm, moist air on the southern side. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit. You're going to have warm, moist air on the southern side, right? Down here, look at this. Miami, 70 degrees. That's going to change though, right? But anything in green and orange here, those are temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Anything up here in the scary blue and purple, those are temperatures below zero or close to it. And so you're having basically over the, from the Carolinas down here to the Atlantic Ocean, you're having a temperature gradient of 40, from going from 70 to zero. So that's a difference of 70 degrees here between that small area. And that's where you get this battleground that sets up. And so that's why we're having such a very strong storm form, because when you have very cold air and very warm, moist air, you create these very powerful lows that swing right in between them, right? You get the cold air, you got the warm air, you got the boundary, and you got a low pressure that'll ride right along that boundary. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And so the cold side of this, to Dan's point, guys, this is tomorrow morning. So if you're in Pittsburgh, if you're in Ohio, if you're in New York, if you're in Wisconsin, if you're in Minnesota, if you're in Michigan, if you're in Indiana, if you're in the Northeast, your actual temperatures could be close to -20. Look at this. This is tomorrow morning. I can tell you in Columbus, I woke up this morning, it was -7 outside. Yesterday, it was -5. These are actual temperatures. This is polar. This is Arctic type cold that we're talking about here. And it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. Look at the wind chills. Look how disgusting these wind chills are. 35. 35 below wind chill. That is unbelievable. And let me zoom out and show you, because let me just put this in motion from the beginning. You can, when I put this in motion, you can watch the temperatures. Only going to get colder throughout the next couple of days. And let me increase the speed here. Hold on. Let's go there so you can see it better. Okay. Let's go from the beginning here. The temperatures for the next really week will be absolutely brutally cold. We're talking about -14, -16 all across the Northeast. You get one blast of cold air, and then look at this. Mother Nature reloads, and you get another blast coming in. So our cold is going to continue potentially. Look at this. This is going into February, guys. This is February 10th. What? Unreal. We aren't going to warm up anytime soon. And so dangerous cold this weekend. We get a bit of a break, and then more dangerous cold next week. And then we get another break, and then more dangerous cold after that. So we might not get, look at this. I've just got this in Ohio. Let me just do a test here. So we're not above freezing. This is Friday, we're Thursday, January 29th. Let's take a look. This is Friday, January 30th. Still below freezing. Sunday, February 1st. Okay, we're well below freezing. It's 0. Will Tampa, Florida be impacted by this storm? Yes, in a different way than you think. Bluebird. I'll talk about Tampa in just a second, because that's actually a pretty good segue. Sunday, still below freezing. Monday, Tuesday. This is February 2nd. We still are below freezing here, guys. This goes into Wednesday. This goes into Thursday. Friday, still below freezing. Unbelievable. Let's go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, below freezing. Guys, I've seen enough. This is stupid cold. We could have basically from here all the way into the Northeast that doesn't get above freezing until the second week of February.
Super chatted $4.99. It's supposed to be very cold and windy down here in the Gulf this Saturday and Sunday.
That's right.
Brady.
Yeah.
Columbus looks like it's going to set its longest streak of sub 20 in recorded
history. No way.
I heard Buck say the other morning it was 7 days, and it looks like we're at least going to be 8 now.
Oh, yeah. Minimum. That's crazy. So, guys, this is
for a high.
That's crazy. Guys, this is record-breaking cold. Like, it's just, there's no way to cut it. We haven't seen a cold blast like this in years, right? And another state that hasn't seen a cold blast like this in years is Florida. We had a couple questions about Florida. Wilson, he's down in the Gulf here on Saturday and Sunday. Even down in Florida, you're not going to be immune to this particular cold. Let's look. Friday, this is going into Saturday. This is when our cold front's going to move through. We're going to have as this low starts to strengthen and move up here, it will pull in all of this cold air on the backside. And that cold air will make it all the way down into Florida. And that's when we could get a snow. You heard that right. A snow chance for our Florida brethren. And, we talked about that yesterday. Stu and Dan and Kyle, we talked about that potential snow chance in Florida. But look at this. This is Sunday. These are actual temperatures here, guys. These are not wind chills. And we're talking about a huge chunk of Florida. Sunday morning, we're going to wake up here below freezing. Pensacola, 24. Panama City, 25. Gainesville, 24. Orlando, 28. We're getting warmer. We're not getting to where we need to go, though. That is below freezing. And so any farmers in Florida, I got bad news. We are going to see a widespread freeze here in Florida where, they grow a lot of crops. They grow a lot of oranges. Maybe Stu or Dan, you can look up what other plants they grow. I don't know what other things they grow in Florida. But they grow a lot of different stuff.
Strawberries, avocados.
And so a lot of your favorite foods will be potentially impacted by this cold as we go throughout Sunday and then Monday. And our wind chills, even as far south as Miami, 43, guys. That's for Miami. That is brutally cold. Miami could get into the 30s, right? This is your low temperature Sunday morning. We're talking about freezing in most of the state of Florida. Falling iguanas, going to be a problem. Freezing of crops, going to be a problem. And we could get some snow, maybe. I don't know, Stu or Kyle or Dan, if any of you guys have been watching the models today with how they've been trending about the snow in Florida. But let's take a look right here and see.
The National Blend of Models has still been showing a very small possible dusting, but...
Wow. Unreal. So this is thank you for that, brother Stu. So this is the European ensemble, and what you'll notice here is someone asked about Florida being affected by this storm. Will you see catastrophic impacts? No, unless you're a farmer, then you could see a lot of crop damage. Absolutely, but if you're just a normal Florida brethren, you're going to be fine. You'll just be cold, right? But Tampa. We've been talking about this for a little bit. This little bit of snow. This is about an inch, about a half an inch of snow. And what this is picking up on, some ocean effect snow, where you hear the term lake effect. This is the same thing, but over an ocean, right? So you could have. It will be cold enough for snow to fall from the sky. And so in Tampa, right now the models aren't showing much, but we got a shot here. I'm telling you, we got a shot. Look, just north of Tampa, you got a basically 1/10 of an inch of snow. You're not going to be getting an inch, right? But you're going to probably see some snow flurries, and that could be enough to accumulate your first accumulating snow since, Stu, I forget, what's the date again?
1977.
1977. Was the last time Tampa got measurable snow. And then before that, it was 1890 or something like that. So there's been 2 instances in recorded history, which they started recording history, I think, in the 1890s or 1870s, whatever. I would have loved to have been there when hey, this is the date. We're going to start recording history from now. That would have been cool to be there for that date. But the snow here, we have a chance. We got a shot. I'd probably put it around a 30% chance, but Tampa's got a shot to get their first measurable snow since 1977.
And their first snow flurries since 1983.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable here. So, we're talking about these types of snows. I mean, Dan, if you're in, what do you think the Florida brethren are like right now? Do you think they're chalked? Do you think they're looking forward to it?
I think some may be anxious about it.
Yeah. If you're chat, if you're a Florida brethren, let me know in chat right now. If you're in Florida and you're near Tampa, let me know in chat. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Are you excited for the potential of snow? Do you not like cold? Okay. I got it, Amanda. I got it. I just sent him an invite. Amanda says, Brady, send Garrett an invite. He's got some news. W. So that's just another side of this storm. Is the cold will make it all the way down to the Gulf Coast. No one will be immune. Dan, I don't think Texas is going to fare too bad from this. Yeah, Texas will be in the 40s. So, Dan, you guys will be all right.
We just thawed out.
Yeah, you just thawed out. Just recovering from the power outages here.
And Ohio's about to go in the deep freeze.
Yeah, this is, guys, I tell you what, if you are in anywhere in the eastern U.S., just make sure your house is winterized, because this will test the limits of your winterization. Like, this is gonna, if you have some sort of issue with your house or condo, if you have some sort of defect in the pipes, you probably don't, so you don't need to worry about it. But just go and take precautions, because this cold that we have is not, we don't, this is guys, this is crazy. This is an ensemble model, which is normally very cautious, very conservative. And it's forecasting, it's saying the actual temperature, the mean of all 52 models is -7, is -12 here near Pittsburgh. This is polar Arctic type cold. If we look up here, okay, this is crazy. We looked at this yesterday, right? Look up here in Alaska. 9. 13.
1B7Q super chatted $5. Everyone be safe out there.
Oh, W in chat. Massive W in chat for Sister Sue. Sue, let's go. Everyone be safe. If we look up here in Canada, this is the mean, Alaska. Pretty cold up there, right? Guess what? Ohio, Pennsylvania, the Northeast is colder. We are going to be colder than even up here in the close to the Arctic here, right? The temperatures that we're talking about are Arctic level cold, and that's coming in the U.S. So people talk about, sometimes people are like, why are you being so dramatic? I'm just telling you what's happening. This is the weather, and it is the weather right now. The weather the past 2 weeks has been very dramatic. So that's why on social media you sometimes hear me ramp up my language a little bit. It's because I'm looking at the models. I'm looking at stuff like this, and I'm like, okay, people need to know this is coming, because it's not going to end the world, right? This isn't like, okay, the sky is falling, but you get, if you know these things, you'll be smarter than your neighbors. You'll know, hey, the cold's going to last. So what can I do to prepare? Okay, just let's winterize my house. Let's open the cabinets. Let's make sure my house is warm. Let's make sure my pipes are good to go, right? And that's the kind of information I want to equip you guys with, so that you can have that knowledge, so you can deal with it the way you want to. All right. We are going to have to wrap here in a second, because I got to go to a hockey game. But we're going to bring in brother Garrett Thompson. Join the stream. Garrett, how are we doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We are doing fantastic, and I'm so glad you joined the stream. I got to ask you, where are you? Are you driving right now? Where are you going?
Going to the Carolinas.
Wow. What part of the Carolinas? And what are your thoughts on this particular storm?
I really don't know exactly where we're going, because there is some pieces that still have yet to be solved. But if you want the more extreme impacts, obviously the Outer Banks would be it, because you got the 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts there with
coastal flooding.
Yeah, the coastal flooding and the 1 to 2+ inch per 8 hour of snow rates. But I wanted to share something with you. If you look at the 850 winds, there actually is a warm front over central North Carolina on Saturday. And I know everyone's been talking about this dry slot intrusion. I think that wherever that warm front sets up is going to be the place where the difference in potentially big snow and dry slots. And you could see it on the 21Z wrap that came out. There's actually a wind shift on the 21Z wrap, and it has a nice swath of heavy snow. And then obviously you got your snow falling on the coast with the coastal low, but with that meso low and all that, you got a warm front there in central North Carolina.
What hour? Yeah. So to your point, is this a dry slot you're talking about right in here on the wrap?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I've seen that. So there is some people that are kind of talking about maybe a little bit of a dry slot right here, and that's why I was saying on the models we're likely going to get a snow max here and a snow max here, and then in between in places like Raleigh, Winston-Salem, we will still get snow. We will still get a pretty good walloping of snow for this area, but that could limit totals. To your point, Garrett, and is that Ben in there too?
Yo, what's up, Brady? How's it going?
Wow. W in chat, brother Ben. W, welcome to stream. Are you driving right now?
You've been driving. You've been making my drive go by quicker. I appreciate it. So.
I tell you what, you got some W facial hair going on right now. That is a well-kept beard, my friend.
I got to trim it up a little bit, but I just grew it out in the last few months. So
I tell you what, that's a good-looking beard right there, Chet. That's a good-looking. That takes some effort. That is not easy to maintain here. So massive shout out to brother Ben there. So we talk about this dry slot. There's been a lot of people talking about it on social media, right? Guys, when it comes down to it, I think it's semantics. 2 snow totals or 2 snow maxes, and then in between, we're still going to get several inches, right? It's not like they're going to get nothing, right? They shouldn't get nothing, but they probably won't get a foot in this region, right? They'll get a couple of inches, and some people in Carolina will be disappointed by this particular storm. Some people won't. They'll see the forecast and think, "Oh my goodness, I'm getting a foot of snow here in Charlotte, or I'm getting a foot of snow in Columbia." Probably not going to happen, right? If you're along the coast, that's probably where you're gonna have the biggest totals. Now, Garrett, I got a question for you. Are you concerned at all, about the, I don't want to say storm surge, but are you concerned at all about the wave height, potentially coastal flooding here and the Outer Banks as this storm kind of ramps up and pushes almost hurricane force winds to the coast?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was looking at the National Weather Service. I think it was the Newport office who covers that area out there, and they had I think a level 5 of. It was an extreme risk for coastal flooding on the Outer Banks.
Wow.
Overnight Saturday into Sunday morning.
I can't confirm.
They had, I think I saw it was potentially up to 4 feet of
where is that at?
Coastal flooding. I saw it a graphic. I'll pull it up and find it if I can.
Maybe Stu try to look for that.
Yeah, I think it's where Virginia Beach is, that area.
Okay, yeah, okay. So one of those offices up there was talking about the extreme risk for coastal flooding, and that's a concern. I know everyone's focusing on the snow, but that's also a concern with this. Is also the coastal flooding, and the risk for power outages. Because it's going to be cold on, obviously on Sunday, but it's going to be cold on Monday. So there probably will be some power outages out there on the Outer Banks.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. We've been dealing with a bad situation out there in Mississippi and Louisiana and everyone who's been dealing with the extreme cold. So places that don't experience the extreme cold with the power outages, that could be something to watch.
100%. Yeah. And I'm actually pulling up some waves here to show you guys, but the storm surge, I don't want to say storm surge, but the winds and the coastal flooding will probably be the biggest story with this particular storm. So if you're living in the coastal areas of Carolina, even as far south as Myrtle Beach and Charleston, although the winds actually could be pushing the water away from you, still, you are going to be looking at coastal flooding. And most likely, especially, up here, Virginia Beach, and maybe Stu, while we're talking, or Kyle or Dan, if you guys could try to find that website that talked about that Garrett referenced. Okay, cool. Just send a link in the private chat to me.
Okay.
Or you can share it on the stream.
It's screen shared.
Okay, cool. We'll pull that up in just a sec. So right in here, for Virginia Beach, because you look at the winds, right? The winds, here's your center of the low pressure down here. The winds will be wrapping around this way and pushing all of that water onshore almost at the height of the storm. And so anytime you get winds that are perpendicular to the coast, right? Think about a T, right? Timeout. This is timeout. That's a bad thing. You do not want winds perpendicular to the coast because that means max storm surge, right? So that's where your water is going to pile up to a couple of feet, and coastal flooding on top of everything, on top of the snow, on top of the wind, will be a huge concern. And that's, the snow, okay, I'm not really worried about the snow, right? The snow you're never really worried about. You are worried about people traveling, but if people stay home, you're not worried about the snow. The coastal flooding is the area that I think I'm most concerned about here, because there'll be a lot of people that are hunkering down. And if it starts, I'm sure if the water starts to rise here, that's a problem. That's a big problem. And so, they haven't really mentioned anything about evacuation orders yet, but this storm will be a problem for a lot of people. And Stu, we're going to pull this up right here. So this right here, this is in Virginia. This is from the National Weather Service office here in Wakefield, Virginia. Stu, you just want to walk us through this?
Yeah, so this just shows the coastal flood risk for Saturday and Saturday night. As you can see, as Garrett was talking about, there's that major risk down here near, I don't know what this area is down here, near Corolla. I don't know what's along the coast there. And then as we go into Sunday as well, you can see it really expands even further inland, places like Yorktown under a nuisance risk, but areas like Norfolk, Corolla, again, under a major risk. Kiptopke, under a moderate risk, and Ocean City under a minor risk. These town names are chalked. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Wow.
But yeah, so coastal flooding is going to be a huge concern. And I bet even here, if I go further north and east, we've got even some minor risk up here in parts of southern New Jersey. So places like Atlantic City, Avalon, Cape May. Again, that's for Saturday. And then Sunday, it expands across the whole entire coast of New Jersey and even Delaware as well.
Wow. Yeah, that's W report there from Brother Stu. So that's something that, we haven't really talked, and Garrett, I'll get your opinion on this too. Is the waves. So this is the wave watch here. And first of all, this graphic is so freaking cool here. Look at the waves. Let me just show you. This is for our storm. Right when our storm forms, here is Sunday. See this. This is our storm that's forming right off the coast. And as the storm gets stronger, the winds crank, the waves increase. And anything in orange, let me just scroll down. Anything in orange, that's 12 feet. Guys, that is a 12, actually, hold on. There we go. This is actually wave height. Okay, this is actually way worse. Anything in red here, these are waves 16 to 18 feet, right? We can zoom into the Carolina coastline. Let me zoom in and see if I can find Carolina, just to give us an idea. Here's North Carolina. Okay, that isn't very good, but anything in yellow, guys. Yellow is 10 to 12 feet, right? Green is 7 to 9 feet. Yellow is 10 to 12. Orange is 12 to 14. So look at the wave height. We're talking about massive waves right off the coast here, especially up in. Oh no, I froze.
Oh no.
Oh no. Quick commercial break. Be right back in 15 seconds.
I think he did. Oh no.
Weatherfront! It'll have you blow by the competition! It's got radar, observations, models, all in one epic app. Blow by the competition! Woo!
Weatherfront, the official weather app of the Storm Front Freaks Network.
Oh my god. This is very chalked.
Oh, dang it! I was this close. Oh, I was so close to timing that correct.
Super chatted $9.99. Thank you. This will be the day after tomorrow. Grimacing face emoji.
Boom! Massive, huge shout out. Bluebird HPY. Thank you. This will be the day after tomorrow. Boom! Oh my goodness. W's in chat for Bluebird. Absolute W's. Okay. So where were we? We were talking about the wave height. So Garrett, I guess my question to you is, you know, if you, are you thinking about like how close to the coast? So guys, by the way, Garrett, they're driving right now to the Carolina coast to position for this winter storm. How close are you guys thinking about getting?
That is something that I will assess tomorrow. But if we were to target the coast, we were looking at Kitty Hawk or Kill Devil Hills, which is on the northern, which is on the northern part of the Outer Banks.
Okay. Are you concerned at all? Because that'll be right where that should be right where the storm surge will be the great. I don't want to say storm surge, right? That'll be where the storm surge-esque will be the greatest up there because you'll have the wind direction almost perpendicular. You could definitely have some major problems up there. And I mean, there's got to be, I'm not 100% familiar with that area, but is there like escape routes just in case the water does start rising?
I believe so. That is an area that is very impacted by those, by the storm surge from hurricanes and tropical storms. Even when they don't make landfall, them going out to sea, they always get a lot of flooding in there.
Just keep going. Keep going.
No, you're good. And another concern I'm also concerned with all this coastal flooding is that you remember a few months back when they had a bunch of erosion on the beach from I think there was a really strong hurricane that went.
It was like 200 miles away.
Yeah, it was 200 miles away, but you had a bunch of houses that were collapsing. Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about that happening again, especially if you got 60, 70 mile-an-hour winds on the coast. You know, with some of those weaker structures, if they didn't refill the sand, I have no idea if they refilled the sand or not, but. You know, I wouldn't be shocked to see, unfortunately, a couple of structures potentially get, washed away, maybe.
Oh yeah, I would not be shocked at all if we did see some structures that were washed away because, you know, we looked at some of these waves that I was just showing. The waves. I'm just going to play this from the beginning here and just go for the next couple of days here. The waves for this particular storm are going to be massive, massive waves. This type of storm system is it's not a hurricane by any means, but the pressure is equivalent right there. Look at that. That is absolutely the type of waves you see with hurricanes, right? With this particular storm. And so when you talk about a low that's dipping down, the pressure is dipping down into the 960s, right? That is one of it's not the strongest low pressure we've ever had, but that is getting to the limits here of what a nor'easter can do, right? In terms of how low the pressure can go. And so this will be a very impactful storm. And our Carolina brethren, I'm telling you, especially if you're in North Carolina along the coast, I would not be shocked if we saw severe beach erosion, if we saw some structures, basically being carried out in the water from the storm that we looked at earlier this year. Those structures, a lot of those could fail and now sweep out into the ocean as they get a foot of snow, which would just be an insane visual. And so, Garrett, if you are planning on going there, just he's a pro. They're gonna take this seriously. So if you do not do what the storm chasers do, right? Because they go to the areas that are the most dangerous because they've done it before. They're experienced. They know what they're doing. The rest of us just need to hunker down, stay home, bundle up, and just get ready for a big time storm here.
Also, high tide is at like 7 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's another thing that's factoring into this is also the king tide cycle is kind of combining with that.
That's bad. That's very bad. That's,
By
that's
the
not
way,
good at all.
have you seen this website where they where you can actually see like the National Weather Service's expected snowfall amounts? Have you been
No.
shown that? Okay, yeah, I will have to share that with you because I'm looking at it right now. The expected amount of snow that every, you can look across the whole 50 states and see it for the next 72 hours. And
Wait, are
portions
you
of
talking about
eastern
this?
North Carolina. Let me see.
Where they show the this is on Weatherbell, where they basically show their predictions.
No, it's on. Let me see if I could back it around.
I'm guessing this is probably the same
here.
data.
It's actually North. I'm looking at North. Whoops. I'm looking at.
That's
I'm
their
looking-
news site, isn't it?
It is. Yep. And you can see even though the 1 in 10, like the high end amounts for this, which is berserk. But yeah, it's you can actually zoom in to all these cities and everything else.
Oh wow.
Brady.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
that's super cool.
if you go to the WPC website and you scroll on the side, they down on the top stories, the third one down says explore WPC's experimental probabilistic precipitation portal. And it brings you directly to this page that I was looking at. It brings you to the expected first. And then on the side, it'll tell you ice forecasts, QPF. And you can go in the expected amount, the high end amount, and the low end amount on there for you. I figured
Fantastic.
that would be a cool tool for you to show.
Absolutely. Could someone else in here find that? Because I tried. My brain hurts.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make it too complicated.
It's in
no,
the
no,
private
no, no. You
chat
did not.
in-
You did
in
not.
our
I've
backstage.
got like 30. I'm doing 30 different things. Okay, we got it.
There it is.
Here it is.
Yeah. Look at the number on the eastern North Carolina. They're expecting 15 inches up there on the Outer Banks, 15, 16 in spots. That's
Wow.
insane.
Yeah, that's if there's a lot of people. Chat. If you are looking at the models yourself and you're using the 10-to-1 ratio, you're probably like, nothing is. It's not showing 13. It's not showing 14. Right? It's showing 10. It's showing 7. It's showing 12. Right? For this storm, because our temperatures will be so cold. We talked about this during the last storm. The temperatures that we were looking at here. Let me just show you. Let me just show you what these temperatures will be during the height of the storm. This is Saturday during the day. We're talking about temperatures in the 20s. We just went through this here in the Ohio Valley. This is almost a carbon copy in terms of the temperature profiles that we'll be looking at. The higher you go up in the atmosphere, the colder it's going to get. Our temperatures at the surface here in the 20s, which means our temperatures, the higher up we get, should be below that. And you're talking about, just almost perfect snow growing conditions. And so when you get that, you get a powdery snow. You don't get a wet snow. It's more powdery and it accumulates more efficiently. And so normally when you only get 10 inches of snow, you'll get 15 inches that'll stack up because the snow is just efficient, right? And so in this case, Garrett, to your point, that's why we're seeing the official National Weather Service forecast here show the Carolina coastline, from basically Kitty Hawk down through the Outer Banks, getting 10, 12, 15, close to 15 inches of snow. This is their official prediction here, guys. This is not some probabilistic. This is the expected snowfall, the most likely outcome that they're predicting right now. And Garrett, it's just, tell you what, this is, if I would pick, are you thinking this area where the max snowfall is going to be?
It's tough. That's one that's where I'm watching. But at the same time, Ben thinks that they're being really bullish on that number there.
Yeah, I think it's a little too high, but we'll see.
Could be.
But even if you go to the high end amount, the 1 in 10 chance of that, like you look at Central North Carolina and it looks like,
crazy.
Yeah, look at that number.
Okay.
Close to 2 feet in some spots.
Now we're just like, oh, this looks good. That's just eye candy at this point. Unreal.
Yeah. And then the low end, which is a 90% chance of these amounts happening. I mean, there still is really high amount, really decent numbers, at least 90% chance of happening. That's for this area. This is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think we are looking at Charlotte averages 3 inches of snow per year.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Wow.
Raleigh gets about 5 to 6. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, this could be their entire winter season's
Doubled or
worth.
tripled, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
that's
this one
crazy.
in the snow.
So what we're looking at here, guys, this is the expected amount. This is their official prediction, right? This is the official prediction from the National Weather Service. So, this is what they're calling for. This is 15. And then you go inland, you get, 7, 8, 9, 9.5 in Raleigh. This is a 1 in 10 chance of getting this. So if the winter storm would happen 10 times, 1 time out of 10, this would happen. So, weather is unpredictable, right? There's a chance the storm could trend a certain way, and then they get 20 inches, right? But this is probably not going to happen, right? So this is just more like eye candy at this point. This right here, this is on the other end of the spectrum. This is the low end amount. So this is like, okay, if you run this storm 10 times, all of these areas are going to get this amount of snow, 9 out of 10, right? And so it's a very likely outcome. This is like your base, a bare minimum what you're going to get. Raleigh, 5.5. Charlotte, 5.5. Even towards Asheville, 3.5, right? Along the coast here in the Outer Banks, 6, 7, right? All of this snow is the bare minimum. And so this storm, right? This is thank you, W. Garrett, for this massive graphic here. This shows you that even if this storm massively underperforms, which it's probably not going to, but if it does, the Carolinas will get more snow with this particular storm than they normally get all year, right? So this is big time storm, Brother Garrett, for the Carolinas, and
I have to send you one more thing. I have to find it, but it literally is a map that they just updated of the winter storm warning criterias for every National Weather Service office. I found it yesterday. I was looking at it and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Because, Ben and I are in here talking and we're like, are they going to throw a winter storm warning out or not? And, I mean, obviously for these areas, this is clearly well above their normal for that number. But I'm just saying, like, just for you to have in general, it's a good graphic to have. It's something that I'll be using is, when trying to forecast, like, how does each weather service office, qualify their area, like what areas reach that criteria for winter storm warning number? Is it 5 inches, 6 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches?
Yeah.
Brady,
also,
I just sent that map to you.
Oh, you just sent it to you? Okay. Yeah. And another thing that I've been noticing too, really quick, I know you got to go, is that the Atlanta area has been on the uptrend, which is something that has been interesting because you know what happened?
Athens, just to the northeast.
Yeah, they've been like, what happened? They had the Snowmageddon with like a half an inch of snow, not that long. What was that? 2010?
Inch?
Yeah, 2014, something like that. They got an inch or something, and it caused massive chaos in Atlanta. And it's like
they got 2 or 3 last year, and it shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get that again. With this particular, let's look at the high end amount here. High end amount for Atlanta. Once again, if you run this storm 10 times, you're going to get this 1 at a time, 3.5. So, the official forecast here for Atlanta, that's an inch, right? That's a problem. That is if Atlanta gets an inch, that is a shitty a city. I talk a lot and just. We're moving on, okay? Anyway, just unbelievable. I talk too much during the day, and then I just words just start going in. City. I was trying to say city shut down. Combine those 2 words into one. A city shut down. I almost said it again. Type of snow here. You know what, chat? You try to do it. Try to say city shut down 10 times. I guarantee you'll say the same thing. City shut down. I can't do it, okay? But the point is, Atlanta and Athens, Georgia, guys, of all places, we could be looking at a couple of inches, which would absolutely shut things down in a major way. Augusta, 3.5 in Augusta, Georgia. The Masters is going to be playing there in a couple of months, and they're going to get 3.5 inches of snow. Garrett, The massive W for calling that out. I didn't talk about that as much, but like, it's unbelievable.
And the National Blend of Models actually has Tampa at 0.7.
Wow. Unbelievable.
It has some areas on the north side of Tampa at around 1 inch. Now, I think that that's really bullish, but the NBM showing that number, it's like, what?
It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal.
I think the NHL is playing Stadium Series down there too.
That would be so cool. That is
snow on Florida on the day of the Stadium Series. That
would be cool.
And not to mention these same areas too, especially Northeast Georgia, just got hit with a bunch of ice, and now they're going to get hit with what to them is crippling snow totals.
100%. Yeah, this area was just hit by sleet, freezing rain. There was some power outages. Luckily, they've recovered now. If we look at the power outages map, I'm actually curious. Okay, good. North Carolina, we have only 114 people without power out of 5.8 million. So we're sitting pretty in Carolina. And then 99. I tell you what, that would really suck to be one of those 99 people without power right now out of 3 million. I mean, that's just, if you're that unlucky, it's probably time to move here. So that is good. We still have mega power outages in Tennessee and Mississippi. Those numbers are also going down. If you remember yesterday, it was at 400,000. Now we're at 250 total power outages. So, Texas, Dan, now we're looking good in Texas now. Not even on the map here. So that's good news. But I tell you what, in North Carolina, we just had ice and sleet, just like Stu had said, and now we're going to get an absolute walloping of snow here. And I mean, Garrett, the last question I'll ask you, would you be shocked? First question, would you be shocked if they issued blizzard warnings? And the second question is, if they do, how far west do you think they'll go?
So the answer part one,
Kevin Sparks, super
I think blizzard warnings are
city
going to be
shutdown, city shutdown, city shutdown, city shutdown, city shutdown, city shutdown, city shutdown.
You asked for it.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, if you type it in, of course the bot's going to say. Of course the bot's going to be able to say it 10 times in a row, Kevin. Okay? W
I think
in
it's
chat.
very
Kevin.
likely.
Garrett, you kind of cut out for a second. What'd you say?
Oh, I said I think it's very likely that blizzard warnings will be out. I think it'll go. Actually, I think it could go a little bit inland. You're looking at some of those gusts that were showing, 35, 40 well inland past the coast. And that.
Wow. Garrett, your connection's lagging a little bit.
Let me see.
You're right. Must be the Starlink. Let's get Elon on the horn here. So yeah, I after seeing this, Garrett, to your point, if I could see the blizzard warnings.
Maybe I'm back.
I could see the blizzard warnings going maybe even as far inland as Raleigh, right? If they're going to get wind gusts to 35 or more, that's the blizzard criteria is right at 35, Garrett. So, I think, Garrett, I'm just going to draw this. Would you agree? This area, very likely for blizzard warnings. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
nope,
it looks good. It looks good. The blizzard criteria is really interesting because you have to have at least quarter-mile visibility or less for that wind gusts.
I think it's 30 mile an hour sustained wind for 3 hours.
For 3 hours, yeah.
And they might not hit that, but in this area they might lower the criteria. That's what they're talking about.
Studio Fund, you're welcome.
Yeah. W in chat, Wilson. Yeah, I would be shocked if we don't get a huge swath of eastern, especially North Carolina and then South Carolina. Because guys, the snow totals really don't matter, right? You could, in theory, you could have blizzard warnings in Atlanta, right? You're not going to, but in theory you could if you have the right conditions. If you have the wind with the falling snow or blowing snow, you could get a blizzard warning there. You won't with this storm because the winds won't be high enough there. But anywhere where you have snow and then wind, you're probably going to get a blizzard warning, and it's not going to matter, right? Because you're still going to get a lot of snow, you're going to get a lot of wind, and by far The biggest problem, the biggest issue, most destructive part of the storm is going to be the wind and the surge and the coastal flooding. We're not going to be talking about a huge surge, right? We're not talking about 10 feet, but it will be a couple of feet, and you will see some videos of houses undoubtedly that have already been impacted from the last storm potentially go into the water, right? And so will be a very impactful storm. Nonetheless, I do have to roll. I said I was going to stop at 8:30. It's now 8:50. So
I know. I kept you too long.
You did not keep me too long. This is amazing. We had an unbelievable stream, and we had a lot of good information, a lot of good talk here from the panel. I'm glad you hopped on, Garrett. I get distracted, and so I couldn't find you in chat. So I'm glad we were able to get you on. Final thoughts, Garrett. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this particular storm, and what are you feeling?
I think it's going to be an impactful one. I hope the people are prepared, and I expect there to be quite a bit of power outages, unfortunately, on Sunday.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Big storm, big wind, big snow. A lot of these areas could exceed or double, even triple their yearly average. So that's anytime you get that, that's a big deal. So we wouldn't be going out here, 15 hours unless it wasn't a big deal.
Yikes.
So.
15 hours?
30-hour round trip. Yeah, and then we got to get the summit next weekend. So
Yeah. Hey, we're all going to the Storm Chaser Summit next weekend too. So I will see you both there. Thank you for joining us, Garrett and Ben. Dan, any final thoughts from you, brother?
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the path of this, storm, definitely take precautions and prepare now. And huge shout out to all the line workers who have brought people back online and are going to continue to do that through this storm.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. Dan, people want to see the fedora before the stream ends. Let's get that back on. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, chat. I tell you what, we might need to get a fedora emote. Put on the sunglasses, Dan. Maybe it's Fedora Agent Dan. It's Fedora Agent Dan right there. Unbelievable. Stu, oh my goodness. Chat, are you kidding me? It's a specimen.
The new Triple R Brady just came in, and it's a whopper.
A whopper. Unbelievable. A whopper. We love that. Stu, any final thoughts from you?
1, I prefer Baconators. 2, don't travel this weekend.
Oh my God.
Anywhere?
Well, don't travel in the Carolinas. And don't plan any flights because there's going to be a lot of snow. There's going to be whiteout conditions for an extended amount of time. Blizzard criteria is, 30 to 35 mile an hour wind gusts over 3 hours, but we're going to see that for up to 12 hours, I think. So just don't travel, stay home, stay warm, stock up before the storm hits. Don't do it the day of because that would be a mistake.
Chalk.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The new Triple R brings 16.5 to my sister's house, and it's still just getting started.
Wow. Wow. That's money. All right, guys, you heard it here first. Mega blizzard coming. Just prepare, do your best. Massive shout out to everyone that joined us tonight. Garrett, Dan, Stu, and Kyle, thank you for joining us tonight. Massive W to all of you. Ben as well. Huge W's, massive W's in the chat for all of these beautiful people that joined us tonight. And lastly, a shout out to all of our mods, Mama G, Carly, Mason, Fuzzy, who are absolutely grinding, keeping you guys in order, keeping you guys locked in. And massive W to you, chat. Absolutely epic W to every single one of you in the chat. Oh my.
Super chatted $5. I'm going to post pics from North Carolina on your Discord this weekend.
Fantastic. I will look for those, Brother Jeremy. I will absolutely look for those on my Discord. And if you do want to support us, become a member. Become a member, super chat. You can actually donate to the PayPal directly. I added that in the top of the description, and that way YouTube doesn't take a third of it, right? So we did get a massive donation today from Jennifer. Jennifer with the 150 bomb. She sent one yesterday and she sent one today. It was Jennifer Wright. Jennifer, massive shout out to her. Massive shout out to everyone that super chatted. We got Storm Intermedia. Garrett, you remember for 2 months. Are you kidding me? We got Weston. Wilson. T. Grams became a member today. Storm Intermedia. Oh my goodness. Wilson again. Kevin, Wilson, Sue, Bluebird, Stu. Wow. Kevin, Wilson, and Jeremy all donated and became members today. So massive shout out to each and every one of you. It's your first time here. Wow, the W's are absolutely flowing in chat. We got to keep them going here. We are rolling. That's all I got, guys. I'm going to go to hockey. I potentially will be live tomorrow. Look for that potentially on my Discord. I'll let you know. That's all I got, guys. Find someone. Tell them you love them. Tell them you care about them. Do something nice for someone today or tomorrow or the next day. It's the Stormcat 5 and Garrett and Dan and Stu and Phil and all the Stormfront Freaks here at the Stormfront Freaks Network. Oh, my goodness. I'm just dragging it out here, and I'll see you on the next one. Boom! Oh, I'm going to be so late to hockey. This is not good. I'm going to be late to hockey.
You're going to be late to hockey.
Okay.
It's okay.
I call this Blizzard of the Carolinas.
Blizzard of the Carolinas, here we go.
The cameras rolled. The maps lit bright, the southern blizzard it on the night. Snow where palms and pines will stand, winter breaking all the weather plans. Agent Dan opened calm and clear. He said, folks, this storm is real right here. Stu zoomed in on the branding floor. He said those rates, oh, that's heavy snow. Blizzard over the Carolinas, whiteout winds, cold that bites us from back roads deep to city lights. Winter showed up on that cold night. Garrett called, the wind gusts ripping through. He said drifts piling high where they never do. Ben broke totals inch by inch. This is past the bunch, no flinch. Kyle tracked the models run by run. He said every trend, oh, this ain't done. Oh, snow wrapped tight, the temps they crash so low. A southern steed, oh, it's buried in snow. Blizzard over the Carolinas, snowflakes sideways, nature's finest. From coastal towns to inland lines, the storm rewrote Carolina time. Oh, everyone sing it with me.
We're all wonderful.
Dan, I'm not until you sing. Dan, I'm not until you sing. Sing, Dan.
I did sing, and
Keep
I said,
singing. Keep singing. Okay.
Thanks for watching.